A very good evening to the respected dignitaries, inquisitive research scholars, academicians, and my dear teaching fraternity. It gives me immense pleasure to extend to you a warm welcome on behalf of Andhra Loyola Institute of Engineering and Technology, Vijayawada, Andhra Pradesh, and Cape Comorin Trust, India, who has clubbed all of us on this virtual forum for a 5-day international virtual faculty development program on research and writing, jointly organized by Andhra Loyola Institute of Engineering and Technology, Vijayawada, Andhra Pradesh, and Cape Comorin Trust, India. In a given situation, there is a growing urgency to rediscover various innovative applications in terms of research and writing. Recently, many changes have been introduced in the academic system of India, starting from the school to college level. One of the core objectives of National Education Policy 2020, the prospect of research and innovation, focuses on generating and sharing ideas that will be widely applicable in real-life settings. Against this backdrop, Andhra Loyola Institute of Engineering and Technology, Vijayawada, and Cape Comorin Trust has taken an initiative to organize this online multidisciplinary FDP. Special thanks to Dr. Regin Sylvest, President of Cape Comorin Trust, India, for providing plethora of speakers from various disciplines who will be addressing us on various topics of research and writing. This program would not have come to its realization without the help and support of our beloved Director and Secretary, Reverend Father Dr. A. Francis Xavier S.J. Father has been a perennial source of inspiration and guidance for all of us at Elliott. So, on behalf of the organizing committee, may I take this opportunity to welcome our Director, Reverend Father Dr. A. Francis Xavier S.J., to grace this gathering with his welcome address.
Good evening. Respected Dr. Regin Sylvest, the speakers of the day, Dr. Miguel Cardoso, Dr. Joginder Singh Saklani, and all the participants in this 5 days virtual faculty development program on research and writing. I'm extremely happy and grateful to Dr. Regin Sylvest, the President of Cape Comorin Trust, because an FDP program of this kind certainly is the order of the day. The education policy, which has been given to us, insists upon through the AICTE and also through the UGC, that all those who are in the educational sector have to qualify themselves with a PhD. And of course, they have to also start their research. And all over the world, number of research is going on in different areas in order to make our lives better, whether it's in education, in the medical research, in the field of economics or commerce. So much research is going on. And we who are working in institutions certainly play a vital role in all these research areas. And therefore, when a faculty development program on research and writing is being organized, certainly it is a welcome variation from our day-to-day activities. And I'm extremely grateful to all the speakers who consented to be part of this faculty development program, because without them, we will not become people who are getting influenced by their speakers, these speakers, and their reflection and their own hard work day after day at their own desks as researchers from all over the world. And with these words, once again, I'm grateful to Dr. Regin Sylvest, the President of Cape Comorin Trust, and also I'm grateful to all those who are participating in this faculty development program. And I hope what the Cape Common Trust, in collaboration with Andhra Loyola Institute of Engineering and Technology, is offering will influence our own lives and make us better researchers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Father, for your warm words of welcome. I think all of us are eagerly waiting to listen to the speaker of the day. Let me introduce to you our esteemed speaker, Professor Luis Miguel Cardoso. Professor Luis Miguel Cardoso holds a PhD in modern languages and literature in the specialty of comparative literature from the University of Cumbria, adjunct professor at the Department of Language and Communication Sciences at the School of Education and Social Sciences of the Polytechnic Institute of Portugal. He is a professor of higher education since 1995. He was the Dean of the School of Education and Social Sciences between 2010 and 18 and Deputy Director of the Master in Media and Society. He is a researcher at the Center of Comparative Studies at the University of Lisbon. He was president of ARIPESE, Association of Reflection and Intervention in Education Policy of Higher Education Schools in Portugal from 2015 to 18. He was the coordinator of the Communication Bureau of the Polytechnic Institute of Portugal. His main areas of teaching and research are sciences of language and communication, pedagogical innovation, literacies, education and literature and cinema, under which he published articles and made presentations in Portugal and several countries, including Brazil, Spanish, France, UK, Italy, Greece, Hungary, Bulgaria, Thailand, Turkey, Colombia, Indonesia, Ukraine, Pakistan, UAE, Philippines, and India. In 2000, he published the book Literature and Cinema, The Look of Janus, Virgilio Ferreira and the Space of the Unspeakable by Edition 70, Portugal. He is a member of several international organizations and associations, as well as a member of the editorial board of international journals in the area of language and communication sciences, comparative literature, literature and cinema, literacies, and education. With this brief introduction, may I invite Professor Luis Miguel Cardoso to address the gathering on the topic entitled Digital Research Pathway, Understanding Digital Humanities. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon. Greetings from Portugal. First of all, I would like to thank the organizing committee for the very kind invitation for being here. It's a great pleasure and a great honor. I would like to thank Dr. Sylvestre. I would like to thank Dr. Francis Xavier, our moderator, of course, all the keynote speakers, and of course, all the participants that are gathered here today so that we can discuss one of the most important topics that we have nowadays in academia, that is what is a proper pathway regarding research nowadays, that we are facing huge challenges in our 21st century. So, my dear colleagues and my dear friends, let me share a presentation. I hope this is visible. Can you please confirm that it is visible, please?
Visible, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir, it's visible, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So, my dear friends, nowadays we are facing very important
Yes, sir, you are
challenges.
visible.
Sorry? As I was saying, we are facing very important challenges nowadays regarding common and multilateral pathways regarding digital research. So about digital research, we must understand that the 21st century is about connecting knowledge, skills, the needs from the labor market, and the increase of the digital tools that are very important in higher education and in all levels of our educational systems. And second, we must understand that this is a global change for all of us. It's a global change in a lot of domains. It's a big change in areas, for example, in humanities. And the topic that I chose for today's presentation is the connection between digital research pathways and the understanding of how humanities are transforming the approach regarding these domains into the future by connecting education and technology, by connecting education technology and digital research tools. So, first of all, what is digital research, my dear friends? So, digital research can be defined as the use of digital technologies that change the way research is carried out and make it possible to face new challenges in the area. And nowadays, digital tools are very important in our educational systems. And of course, we all noticed that during the COVID-19 pandemics, online learning was vital for us all. We needed this technology to go ahead with education so that education could not stop. So this is also important to understand major changes regarding research, regarding academia, and regarding, of course, the challenges for us teachers and for us researchers as well. So this is why digital research is one of the key ideas that we have nowadays in 21st century. But first of all, what is the reason for research? Well, we have three domains regarding research that I would like to share. First of all, we have the exploratory. So one can comprehend with the name what this object is about. Research helps in investigating the gathering of queries. Second, the descriptive. As the name recommends, the descriptive reason for any research is to expand on the data and spread all the untold elements in it. And third, the explanatory. The function of explanation is indispensable in different types of research. Explaining the issue and why the researchers picked the theme for the research is needful. So these are three very important domains that we must consider when we begin our search for our pathways regarding 21st century research. And about research, we must also understand that we have different types of research that we can embrace. So we have report research, we have qualitative research, quantitative research, analytical research, persuasive research, experimental research, survey research, and problem solution research. So all these types of research are, of course, needful and important. And what we must do in our classes, in our schools, with our colleagues, in our departments, in our universities, is to define what are the types of research that we truly need to go ahead with our teaching and learning goals. So everything is connected: teaching, learning, and research. because nowadays our students are also giving their first steps towards research. And we as teachers are their mentors. We as teachers must guide our students in order to advance their research skills. So all this begins with a new framework regarding research, teaching, and learning. Let us remember that the Qingdao Declaration, and I'm talking about a very important document by UNESCO by 2015, declares that to achieve the goals of inclusive, equitable, and quality education and lifelong learning by 2030, ICT-based teaching and learning needs to be integrated into all sectors of education. And I highlight all sectors indeed. However, it also observes that on their own, ICTs will not bring about the required transformation, and that there is a need for well-informed, long-term policies and strategies, professional development, and well-researched and innovative methodologies for educational technology to play a central role in building inclusive and sustainable knowledge societies. So, my dear colleagues and my dear friends, we all want sustainable knowledge societies. And in order to get to this level, we must focus our efforts, not just in our schools, not just in our universities, but of course, we have to understand that the solution for these challenges is networking. This is why conferences like this one are so important. In these conferences, we can share best practices. In these conferences, we can talk to colleagues from different countries. We can share ideas. We can create joint ventures. We can create a compromise regarding knowledge, regarding skills, to understand what our students need, so that we can share what we are doing in our country in order to help others and to receive ideas from other countries as well. So conferences like this one are vital for our future. And our future, of course, is all about digital. And digital requires digital research skills, not just for our students, but of course, for us teachers as well. So, my dear friends, when we talk about research skills and digital research skills, we are highlighting 4 domains. First of all, critical thinking. Second, problem solving. Third, analysis. And fourth, dissemination. Of course, when we begin our path in research, first of all, we must define what is my key question. What is the problem that I want to solve? What is the issue? What is the challenge? And then we must involve our community, our network with these challenges. And we must understand that to solve this problem, we must act together. This is very important nowadays. Universities must collaborate. Universities must come together and work in a team, work as a team. So then we move on to analysis. So we exchange ideas, we can share a lot of pathways regarding what is the best option to solve this problem, for example. Our university receives a request from our community in order to solve a social problem, a problem regarding management, regarding education, regarding tourism, regarding social service, and so on and so on. So what our higher education institutions must do is to collect data, research, analyze data, and then start dissemination. And then start dissemination regarding possible solutions regarding the challenge that we received in our university. And then, of course, we move on to digital research. And digital research is a cycle that includes assessing information, using and reusing information, creating information, because research is always connected with giving others, giving our communities, giving other universities, our work, our best practices. And of course, all this as a basis. And the basis is to analyze the data that we have gathered so far. Then we must think to preserve the results of our research and to share those results. And by sharing, we are talking, of course, publishing our results that are very important nowadays, because publishing is vital for academia. So for us teachers and researchers, when we began to understand these challenges, we, for example, can choose different platforms to gather information, to gather data about what we are going to do. For example, what about digital research tools? We have a lot of digital research tools that we can gather, we can work with, and that we can bring to our schools and to our universities. For example, I need a digital research tool to analyze data, analyze texts, author an interactive work, blog, and so on and so on. So I may have a list of tasks, a list of demands. What I have to do is to search the proper and correct and adequate answer regarding digital tools so that I can move on, so that I can go ahead with my research and that I can solve my problem, my challenge, my academic challenge. This is why DIRT is a very important platform. This platform gives us information, solutions regarding a lot of possibilities that we may encounter regarding our research problems. So one of the major trends today is to find data according to our needs, and we have a lot of information. Of course, we have a lot of databases, but we have to select the most important and the most correct and adequate databases. So second, most important online tools for researchers, my friends, are perhaps the second level of our approach. So we have a lot of online tools that we can know, that we can discover, and that we can use. For example, project management tools. Project management is a set of proven techniques for proposing, planning, implementing, managing, and evaluating projects, combined with the art of managing people. These tools are used to manage project progress, resource application, and collaboration processes. Grammar checker tools. Grammar checker tools are used to detect grammatical spelling, punctuation, sentence formation errors, and so on. So the purpose of grammar checker tools is to enhance the language of a paper in question. Given the need of the hour, the internet pool is overflowing with several grammar checker tools that suggest, fixes, and explain the nature of the suggested fixes. C, reference management tools. Reference management tools help in managing the literature used for research development, thus offering an alternative to a time-consuming task for researchers. Journal finders. One of the common rejection factors of research journals is that the subject of the research is not within those contemplated by the journal. So a journal finder is a very important tool for us researchers to find the adequate journal. And of course, these informations that I'm sharing with you, my dear friends, you can also read these informations and share these informations. They are available at www.enago.com. Other very important item is social networking for academics. Research advances when shared. Hence, the connection and exchange of ideas between researchers is essential. As I was saying, nowadays, we must work not as an island, not as a single unit, but as a team. And when we act as a team, we have greater energy, greater support, greater possibilities of success regarding our research. So this makes possible to enhance our research capabilities and our possibilities to move on and to have great research goals, and most important, have very important research outcomes. And again, what is digital research and what are the most important research trends that we have in this 21st century? So according to www.ibpad.com, the main research trends are a growing emphasis on large-scale, mass-critical research focused on real-world challenges. This is very important, my friends. This is where our universities work together with the labor market, work together with enterprises, with corporations, with our communities. We as researchers, we as teachers, can receive challenges from our communities, from a corporation, for example, that wants to solve a problem. And when we connect the academia with the labor market, when we connect higher education institutions with communities, we are on track with the 21st century challenges. And 21st century challenges have this ability to create the opportunity to work together. So there is, as I was saying, a growing emphasis on research focused on real world challenges. And we also have a strong emphasis on research impact, which will have a greater need to collect evidence, stronger partnerships, and broad social impact promotions. This is also very important for our universities. Our universities must have a social impact, must build valuable, adequate, and strong partnerships. And of course, the consolidation of research equipment into large regional, national, and international shared research centers and facilities, and the need to manage sharing effectively. So, my friends, our universities, of course, they have to work on a regional basis, on a regional level, but they must also work on a national level and an international level. As I was saying, these conferences are very important so that different universities can come together and share ideas and share new ideas. This is the right path for our common future. Other main research trends include greater emphasis on transparency with open access to research findings and underlying data, which creates data management challenges. And of course, we are also discussing measurements and metrics with a focus on producing strategic products. We are also with a focus on digital approaches to research, where digital simulation can help us understand the problems we want to solve. And we can create simulations. We can go ahead with these simulations, and then we can deliver our solutions to our communities. Other top digital trends also include networks and social media, because nowadays, social media and social networks allow the research community to collaborate, to build relationships, share ideas, and overcome distances. For example, my dear friends, we are now connected with technology. We are talking from different countries, and we can share these ideas, can share these best practices, because technology allows us to create this collaboration, to create and build relationships. Of course, we can also work with mobile computing and mobile work. That is another very important trend connected with analytics and big data. So this means, my dear colleagues, that mobile work allows people to blend all aspects of their digital lives. Nowadays, we cannot talk about frontiers regarding space and time, because technology allows us to overcome these frontiers, to overcome barriers, so that we can collaborate and that we can create and build relationships. And of course, we also have to see the future that includes machine learning and large-scale cloud computing that is already referenced, and that will be very important in the next years to come. Another major trend is the so-called Internet of Things. So the network of physical objects, of things, embedded in electronic components, software and sensors, allows these objects to collect and exchange data. And this Internet of Things is one of the most important factors nowadays in research trends. Again, IT consumerization is also changing a lot of research pathways, because as technology and IT products improve, become cheaper and available for everyone, they are no longer the preserve of the few. So our future is, of course, connected with technology, is connected with technology, to technology, towards technology. But we must also understand that it is vital for each and every one of us to have access to these databases, to computers, to stable internet connection, so that we can go digital. And cloud computing and safety are also another set of major trends that we are facing today. And cloud computing and safety are about the opportunities, but also the responsibilities, are also about what must be done regarding the safeguard of information, the safeguard of our laboratories, the safeguard of our institutions regarding, of course, our learning outputs and research outcomes. So this is, of course, our last question. These changes about digital, about going digital, are now affecting all domains in our universities and are also affecting the digital humanities that are a new concept. The humanities, as we know them by tradition, is a set of characteristics, has a set of characteristics that is now changing. And why is the set of characteristics changing? Because digital humanities are now also connected with these approaches regarding databases analysis and platforms and new research tools and digital skills. So according to Professor David Barry from the University of Sussex, digital humanities are at the leading edge of applying computer-based technology in the humanities. So initially called humanities computing, the field has grown tremendously over the past 40 or so years. And digital humanities incorporate key insights from languages and literature, history, music, media and communications, computer science and information studies, and combine these different approaches into new frameworks. And of course, digital humanities have developed new methods, such as computer-based statistical analysis, search and retrieval, topic modeling, and data visualization. They apply these techniques to archives and collections. And archives and collections that are vastly larger than any human researcher or research group can comfortably handle. So now technology and digital tools are helping researchers to get the information, to gather the information, and to transform the processes and the ways that we had in the last 10 years. And they are changing everything. So nowadays we talk about digital humanists that are transforming the idea of what a humanities research project can be, giving us new ways of seeing past and present cultures. So, my dear friends and my dear colleagues, I would like to say that nowadays, in the 21st century, we have these challenges. First of all, teaching, learning, and research are connected. Education and technology are connected. Universities and communities must be connected. Universities must be connected with the labor market, must be connected with the communities so that they can solve problems. And all of this is very, very, very important. These are major trends for our higher education institutions. These are major trends for our universities, and these are major trends about our common future. And our common future is about creating partnerships, sharing very important and new ideas about teaching, learning, and research. And when we do so, we are building a better future for our students. We are building a better future for our communities. We are building a better future for our countries. Thank you very much for your kind attention. And again, I thank the organizing committee for Untitled. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Luis Miguel Cardoso. That was an amazing session by you. And we are very much inspired by the digital technologies, digitalization, which you have placed before us. Now I open the floor to the audience to ask any questions. If you could ask or you want to ask on digital technologies and get clarifications from the speaker. So if anyone would like to ask questions, please unmute yourself and you are welcome to do so.
Good evening, madam. Can I ask the question?
Yes, yes.
Good evening, sir, for the enlightening session. Professor, I have a question. Can you suggest me any digital tool to check the format of bibliography? For example, MLA 9th edition format.
Good evening, madam. Thank you for your question. We have a lot of tools that we can find in a lot of platforms and databases. Perhaps one of the most interesting for you to create a better paper or a better article or to correct, for example, the creation or writing of the text is the Grammarly tool. Grammarly is open access tool that you can access without any type of cost, and that can improve the way we write, the way we are trying to portray our ideas into a text. And perhaps this is a tool that can help you.
Can you suggest some tools for plagiarism tests?
Yes, we have a lot of plagiarism tools nowadays. Perhaps one of the most important and one of the most reliable is Turnitin. Turnitin is very important tool nowadays for plagiarism. And we as teachers and researchers can find this tool very useful. So I highly recommend Turnitin.
Professor, actually don't find this Turnitin tool free of cost. I think you have to buy it. So that's the reason I asked, is there any free software?
Yes, we have a lot of possibilities regarding plagiarism tools. Of course, I highlighted Turnitin because it is the best option. It is paid, but for example, one of the solutions that we have is when our university buys a license of Turnitin and then can share the license with the teachers and with the researchers. So this is an option for you, my dear colleagues and my dear friends. So if your university, if your school buys one license, then you can use this license because it is a very good tool and it's very reliable. It's one of the most important tools that we have today. But if you wish, of course, I can give some extra info about other tools that are not paid as well.
Okay.
Sir, also there are some online plagiarism tools available. So are they also reliable? Like if we Google something.
Good evening, madam. I'm sorry, but I didn't quite receive the transmission and I didn't quite understand your question. Would you mind repeating, please?
Yes, yes, sure. Actually, yes, sir. We are talking about plagiarism tools which are available for free because Turnitin
Is a paid version.
it's a paid version. Yes. So sometimes I also Google some. Actually, my voice is echoing.
Yeah.
Sometimes I
Ma'am,
also.
Ma'am Monica, I think you have been joined from two places. This is why your voice is cracking. You kindly mute from one device.
Is it fine, sir? Now.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes, yes.
Yes. Actually, I think Dr. Candy Nam has to mute herself. Maybe that's why my voice is echoing.
No issue.
Yes, so like sometimes we Google also, no, like for online plagiarism tools. So are they also reliable tools?
Yes, yes, we have a lot of online tools that are also reliable. So you can check an internet and you can find a lot of different digital tools that are free and that are also reliable.
Yes.
So, for example, even Grammarly, you can find Grammarly at www.grammarly.com. That is also a plagiarism checker, and
Yes.
this is one of the options that you have, and of course. You have Grammarly, you have, let me check, you have Copyscape, you have Unicheck, for example. You have some of these requires a registration.
Sir,
You
we have
have,
also this Orkun.
yes,
Orkun is
you
also
have,
there. In fact, sir, the entire education scenario in perspective of this flag check is controlled by UGC, sir. And they have been categorically mentioned two tools. That is, one is Turnit and second one is Orkun, sir.
Yes.
This is mandatory for every universities and educational institutions all over India to provide such type of access to all their faculties, sir. So it is hardly matter whether we are in a position to buy or not because this is mandatory.
Yes.
well, sir, I can say if universities have this option to buy this tool, it's a very important tool nowadays for research in academia purposes, for academia purposes. So yes, you have to go ahead with these options regarding these tools. So what you can do is to compare all the tools that are available nowadays, and we have a lot of tools. You can compare the tools, you can compare the different options, the options regarding payment, regarding registration. You can also have some tools that can be accessed by free of cost, without cost. For example, for 2 or 3 months. And then you can decide if you want to go ahead, if you like this tool, if you want to go ahead and buy this tool. So first of all, I recommend to test different sets of tools and then choose the best one. And one of the best is, of course, Turnitin.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome, madam.
If you have any questions, audience, if you have any questions, please, you can ask.
I'm going to share some, is it possible to share information in the chat box? I think it's not possible to share information in the chat box. Is it, Dr. Candy Cunha?
Yeah, I think Dr. Ejin has.
Dr. Candice, sir, the professor may share. There is an option to share anything.
Oh,
Sir,
thank
can
you.
share in chat box.
Yes.
Thank you.
Sir,
So
go ahead.
I'm going to share one example of a plagiarism tool that is known by you, that is www.grammarly.com.
Yes.
So that I can help our participants.
Dr. Luis,
Yes.
can you highlight upon some of the teaching tools which are rarely used, or they are effective but people they don't use much? Can you highlight upon those kind of tools? Something which will bring out innovation and creativity from the students.
About teaching tools?
Yes, teaching digital tools.
Well, Dr. Candy Cunha, it depends on the objectives. For example, when we're talking about the gamification, we have a lot of software, educational software that we can use. For example, I'm sure you know Kahoot, Bamboozle, for example. Would you like me to share this software? Okay, I'm going to share it. So, just a second, please. So I'm going to share the link to Kahoot. It is a very interesting platform that you can use with your students. And it's a type of game that you can play with your students in all levels of education, even in universities as well. But it's very adequate, for example, for secondary use. And nowadays, our students like gamification. And when we use games in our classes, they enjoy that. And they enjoy the opportunity of playing with their colleagues and discovering knowledge using games. This is why Kahoot is so interesting. So it's free, and then you don't have to pay anything. Let me share another one. Now I'm going to share Bamboozle. This is another very interesting example. Bamboozle offers you the possibility of creating games and contests with your students in your classrooms. And you can divide your students in teams, and then you can have different teams playing the same game, and you can connect this game with your teaching goals and your teaching activities. So these are very interesting opportunities that you can use to enhance and to capture, of course, the attention of your students. I don't know if you have any questions. Any other questions?
I think there are no questions, sir. Professor Luis, Miguel,
Okay.
I think there are no questions.
So if any participant wishes to send me an email, please feel free to do so. I'll be more than willing to help. And again, thank you for inviting me. It was a great pleasure. Thank you. Thanks again to Dr. Silvest. Thanks again to Dr. Francis Xavier. And of course, I wish all the best for this great conference. Thank you, my dear friends and my dear colleagues. Thank you for being here. It was an extraordinary time to share these ideas, and let's continue working together so that our students can have like a future. Thank you.